Answers. Oh, we got to do Garrett's favorite joke. Well, he finally gets it, so. Okay. This I would consider a medium grade 9 quiz. This is the shallow end of the pool. You're going to get wet a little bit, sure, but your test is not going to have a bunch this straightforward. Anyways, simplify. B to the 6th, yes? A to the 4th? A to the 9th? B to the 6th? Power to a power? B to the 8th over A to the 4th. Number 5, negative 21x cubed. Number 6, okay, now this gets a bit more interesting. I'm going to have a negative 4, because 16 divided by negative 4 is negative 4. How many A's on top? 4. How many on the bottom? 1. 3 A's on top. How many B's on, 1 B on top, and a C. Number 7, hey, this one I'm actually going to have to show some work. I'm going to rewrite the first bracket, A cubed B to the 4th, C to the 7th. But the second bracket has a power to a power. There's going to be a 27. Where'd the 27 come from? 3 to the 3rd. By the way, one of the most common sloppy mistakes, Alex, kids go, they didn't do the exponent. What did they do instead? They times. Don't do that one. Right? Or I'll see this. Don't do that one. Because I'll put that answer as a multiple choice for you to pick from. Trust me, I will. And Brianna, that comes under throwing away silly marks, right? We know better than that. 27, there's going to be an A cubed. There's going to be a B cubed. There's going to be a C to the 6th. All right, numbers. There's going to be a 27. How many A's? 6 of them. How many B's? 7 of them. How many C's? 13 of them. There you go. All or nothing. I'm not giving out any part marks on this quiz. Number 8, how many A's on top? 7. How many on the bottom? 5. 2 left on top. Isn't that a nicer way than doing the subtraction thing? I mean, it works, but... power to a power. This negative is going to vanish because it's got a squared, so I already know that that's going to be positive. It's going to be a 16 x squared. That's wrong, Mr. Dewick. It's not x squared. It's going to be x to the 4th, Mr. Dewick. Y to the 6th, and then there's still an 8x y to the 8th. 16 times 8 is 180 and 144? No, that's wrong. 128, that's what I said. Yeah. 128. X to the 5th. Y to the, count 'em, 14th. Yeah? Last one. Oh, you know what? It's the same answer as number 7, isn't it? So let's hope you either got them both right or you got them both wrong. Both right, you're saying? Same answer. I'll fix it next year. 27, A to the 6th, B to the 7th, C to the 13th. So I guess I'm hoping to see lots of 10 out of 10s or 8 out of 10s. Give yourself a score, please, out of, count them, 10. And then pass them inwards. So last day I gave you assignment 5. I did say it wasn't officially due, but I'll start out by saying, hey, any questions from here? Those of you that did get to any of this, were there any of you were going, wow. This was lots of combining fractional exponents with negative numbers and negative exponents and all sorts of stuff. Garrett, my friend, I love it. Love to do number 3. Alex, you had a question back there? 7? 7 what? D as in dog? D as in duck? D as in don't get that one? Okay. Number 3? I see a power to a, right? Okay. What is my power to a power rule? What do you do with the exponents? Multiply. So this is going to be 64, hang on, 64a to the power of 1/3 times 1/2. And I've gone on a big rant. I've said to you, multiplying fractions is the easiest fraction operation. It's top times top, bottom times bottom. No need for a common denominator. Don't need to get fancy. It's going to be 1 over 6. With me so far? It's going to be 64a to the 1/6, which is going to be 64 to the 1/6 a to the 1/6. Flower power. It's going to be the 6th root of 64 and the 6th root of a. In fact, if I wanted to, I could put them all in the same root because they're both 6th roots, but I kept the 64 in front because I'm pretty sure that one works out evenly. What is the 6th root of 64? Yeah, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 64. Brianna, this whole mess works out to a 2 in the front and then a 6th root of a left behind. I think that's what it says. It says write expression as a power with positive exponents we did, and then as an entire radical. There it is. Oh, they wanted me to write it as an entire radical? They might have left the 64 inside. What does it say in the answers? 3a. Sorry, what was that? 3? Oh, no, they took the 2 out. That's technically a mixed radical, not an entire radical, but whatever. You know what? I think the instructions are wrong. I think it should have said, then write as a simplified radical, which means, hey, pull a root out if you can. Fair enough. I'd make sure I gave you one that was clearer instructions. Yes, would it be right? Really, it would depend on the instructions and how I wrote it. How I have in mind to write it, it would be wrong because I would want you to clue in that you can take the 6th root of 64. Did that better answer your question? 7 what? D? Ooh. Ooh. I almost like D. I almost like D. I almost like D. What I probably will, yeah, you know what? I might be okay. I doubt I'd give you another fraction exponent right there. I would have no problem if this was a whole number and then a root and then a root. We can handle this. Do you remember what I said to you guys last day? Alex, I said start on the outside first. See the cube root? What's that as an exponent? You know what? If I write this as powers, on the outside there's going to be, then there's an inner root, 4th root, huh? And inside there, there's an x to the 2/3. What's your power to a power rule? What do you do with the exponents? You multiply. Now this is power to a power rule. It's still multiply. It's going to be x to the 2/3 times 1/4 times 1/3. Oh, how to multiply fractions? This is going to be top times top times top over bottom times bottom times bottom. Alex, 2 times 1 times 1? 3 times 4 times 3? Okay, I'm going to get this. X to the 2 over 36. I think that'll reduce. And then how did they want me to write this? As a radical? Did they want me to flower power? No, they just said write an equivalent expression using positive exponents. There, it's x to the 1 over 18th. Or the 18th root of x if they wanted me to go that extra step and flower power it, which they apparently didn't. You know what? I think now that I've done that, I can say that would be fair game. As a nasty, but sure, fair game. A fractional exponent inside of a fractional exponent inside of a fractional exponent. In fact, heck, now that you know what to do, I can give you 5 or 6 fractional exponents in a row. It's doable. It'd be overkill, but it's doable. Is that all right? Any others? Yep. 2a? Nice. I like this question. I like this question. I like this question. What I mean is you can definitely expect in your future to see a fractional exponent with the base times another base with a different fractional exponent with no common denominator. By the way, what is the exponent here? A 1? Yes? My bases are the same. What do I do with the exponents? here I add them, right? This is going to be x to the power of 7 over 2 plus 1 over 1. Why can't I add them as is? Need a common denominator. Now 1 over 1, what is that if I put it over 2? It's 2 over 2. You know what, Naomi? I'm just going to do that. Because that's a fairly easy one to convert, right? 3 over 3, 4 over 4, 5 over 5. Those are all ones. Now I add the fractions. 7 halves plus 2 halves is how many halves? 9. There's my simplified exponent. Then they said write it with a positive exponent. I've done that. Then they said write it as a radical. So now, Naomi, I'm going to flower power it. The what root of what to the what? Square root of x to the 9th. And again, Naomi, if you did put the 2 there, that's not wrong. But we said because square root is the most common one, if you leave it blank, Brady, we know it's a square root. I hope is that what's in the back? I think. Square root x to the 9th. Is that okay? Any others? 6 as in 6, D as in dog. Not 16 or 6T, 6D. Ooh. I like this question. I like this question. I like this question. This is the same as Naomi just asked me, as a matter of fact, except we're going to have to do one more step. We're going to have to write this as fractional exponents first. We're going to have to unflower power, and then we're going to have x to some exponent that's a fraction times x to some exponent as a fraction. We're going to add the exponents because when you multiply, you add the exponent with common denominator, all that stuff. You ready? Here we go. How would I unflower power the first term? X to the 3 over 4 times. How would I unflower power the root x? I'm multiplying. My bases are the same, so I will add the exponents. This is going to be x to the power of 3/4 plus 1 over 2. Can I add them as is? No. What is 1/2 as quarters? You know what? Since you did that in your head, I'm just going to... Oh, geez, Mr. Duick. Because I'm running out of room. I'm going to say, yeah, you know what? It's that. And what is 3/4 plus 2/4? Are you saying this whole thing is going to be x to the 5/4? Because if that's what you're saying, you'd be right. Did they want me to leave it as an exponent in the instructions, or do they want me to write it as a radical? Do they want me to flower power or not? No? Oh, okay, there you go. 4th root of x to the 5th, if they said flower power it. Okay. Any others? So no new lesson today. What's your homework? 3 things. Assignment 5, if you haven't finished it. I've got 2 things to give you.